Welcome to Alice Springs, here in the geographic centre of Australia. Directly behind me is the Asia Pacific storage facility for major airlines such as Singapore, Cebu Pacific and Cathay Pacific. There are some extinct airlines out there actually, for example Cathay Dragon. However, we won't be flying on Cathay Dragon because you can't. Instead, we'll be flying on QantasLink in their business class product, bound for Adelaide. Being in the dead centre of the country, Alice Springs is notorious among city dwellers as one of the roughest towns to live in, due to the environment and the scarceness of materials. This video doesn't truly capture what it was like that day, so you're just gonna have to trust my word when I say Alice Springs is hot, dry and fly-ridden. It felt like every 5 seconds I was moving my hand to swat away a bush fly. Known as the gateway to the Red Centre, Alice Springs is one of the largest cities in the bush, with a population of roughly 25,000 people. The town serves as a hub for exploring the nearby Uluru-Katajuka National Park, which is famous for its iconic red rock formations. However, despite this, they are still 6 hours away. I arrived here from Darwin this morning, but I arrived so early that check-in did not open until nearly 3 hours after I had arrived. Check-in for Qantas is located on the left-hand side of the check-in area, adjacent to Air North. With the regular economy passengers being told off for being in the wrong queue, I was invited to use the priority lane as well as the other passengers with status. Having been checked in by the lovely and cheeky ground staff, I made my way towards security. After having checked in, turn right after leaving the check-in desks away from the entrance. Once being cleared security, I noticed someone I was familiar with wandering around the terminal, that being the previous flight attendant I met on my flight down here. Turns out my previous aircraft, Victor Hotel Alpha November Quebec, had broken down, stranding all of her passengers and crew. Fortunately, I learned that a so-called rescue flight was inbound. Qantas business class passengers are invited to the Qantas Club to relax before their flight, including passengers with gold or higher status levels. Inside the lounge is fairly small, but adequate for this small regional airport. There is a decent selection of seats, including couches, workstations, bar-style tabletops, window views, and a semi-formal dining area. There is also a bathroom with showers available, with towels being obtained at the front desk. There is also a fairly wide menu today, consisting of, but not limited to, self-serve tea and coffee, a selection of soft drinks, beers, wines and spirits, a small cheese board, fresh fruit, a selection of different breads, cold meats, vine leaves stuffed with rice, a DIY salad kit, and Rocky Road cakes. I opted to have quite the selection. I got myself a plate of walnuts and a small quiche, and a few cheeses, in my case cheddar and brie. I also grabbed some salami and onion relish. To drink, I decided to get myself raspberry cordial and Sprite. I also got myself a toastie, which was bloody good. Around 30 minutes later, an aircraft appeared above on approach. Later on, I decided to get 2 pieces of the cake, which tasted very heavily of coconut and rich dark chocolate, and was really delicious. Eventually, the boarding call was announced over the PA, and my time in the lounge had come to an end. Boarding today commenced on time from Gate 9. As I stepped out onto the apron, I got a proper glimpse of the aircraft that'll be flying me south, which today is an Embraer E190-100AR registered as Victor Hotel X-Ray Victor Lima. She was built in September 2007 in São José dos Campos, Brazil, being delivered brand new to US Airways, then to American in 2015. She was cancelled from her American registration and delivered to QantasLink in January 2023, making this aircraft fairly new to the Qantas fleet and 17 years old. As I was about to enter the aircraft, the funniest moment I had all day was about to happen.
Hi! We are both the same, get rid of them. You should look at them, they're all lining the door.
With thousands of flies surrounding the entrance to the aircraft, I made my way inside. QantasLink'S E190s are in a two-class configuration, with this particular one having 9 business class seats in a 1-2 layout, and 88 economy class seats in a 2-2 layout. Today I shall be seated in 1 Alpha. The business class seat has 38 inches of pitch and 19.5 inches of width. On both sides of the armrest is small drink tables. There is also a standard tray table that folds out from the armrest in half and extends. In the seat pocket, you'll find a safety card, magazine and air sickness bag. Above are individual reading lights, air vents and a flight attendant call button. Offered during boarding to all business class passengers are small bottles of water, which is a staple of Qantas and is always a nice touch. Soon the doors were closed and the engines fired up right on time.
Before we take off, please give us your full attention for an important safety briefing. Every aircraft is at the rear of the cabin and 2 exits in the forward cabin. Ceiling mounted and floor level strip lighting will illuminate in the event of an emergency.
Taxied to runway 12 via Alpha, Charlie and runway 30. Now please enjoy this unedited takeoff. Once airborne, we turned due south, climbing over the Simpson Desert, setting course for Adelaide.
Next level.
Flight time today is 1 hour and 40 minutes, covering a distance of 834 miles or 1,342 kilometers, cruising at 39,000 and 41,000 feet. QantasLink offers their passengers complimentary Wi-Fi on board their aircraft, but for some reason today, on this particular flight, it wasn't working. During our climb to cruise, we passed over a very tiny town which I couldn't really identify. Upon reaching Cruise, we were served dinner, to which we had two options. I was given the beef cheeks, which was served with roast potatoes and green beans in a very creamy and rich sauce. I also asked for a glass of white wine, which today was Pinot Grigio. Served with dinner were 2 pieces of sourdough bread, Qantas' signature butter, and dessert, which I shall get to later. The beef cheeks were incredibly delicious and filled me up completely. By the end of the meal, it felt like I had run a marathon. For dessert, we were given a box with a very large and soft lamington, which, if you aren't familiar, lamingtons are coconut-flavoured cakes with chocolate and coconut flakes on top, and are always bloody delicious. Upon finishing dinner, I glanced outside to the right as the sun fell below the horizon. On board QANTASLINK'S E190s are 2 bathrooms, one for business and one for economy. Inside is everything you'd typically expect, including a baby changing station and the Qantas' signature branded hand soap. As we flew closer to the coast, more and more towns began appearing below, the first of which was Roxby Downs. Later on was Pandora, which I had never heard of before until I started editing this video. We then flew over a town just prior to descent, one I am fairly familiar with this time, that being Whyalla, which I first learnt about when watching trip reports about Rex flying here from Adelaide. Soon we commenced our descent into Adelaide. As we fell back down to earth, due to the time of day, there wasn't much to be seen, except for Adelaide's nightlights in the distance and a few boats on the waters below. Generally speaking, I tend to sit on the left-hand side of the aircraft when flying into Adelaide, due to the views on landing you get when flying in from the northeast, as you usually get stunning views of Adelaide's CBD. Such is not the case for today's flight. A big shame, but I can't control the weather. Now please enjoy this unedited landing. After landing, we taxied back to the terminal via Delta 1, Alpha 5, Alpha 6, Lima and Tango 2. We pulled into gate 19, 6 minutes ahead of our scheduled arrival time. As I stepped off the aircraft and into the terminal building, my thoughts were one filled of exhaustion and a need to get home, both of which go hand in hand. QantasLink is the regional subsidiary of Qantas, operating a network of generally regional routes across Australia from the major cities, providing connectivity to the remote areas that are not often serviced by larger airlines. QantasLink primarily operates turboprop aircraft such as the de Havilland Canada -8 Q400, as well as regional jet aircraft like the Boeing 717, which unfortunately is very soon to being retired, which is a big shame. Other jets in the fleet include the E190, like the one I travelled on today. They aren't actually Qantas's aircraft, rather Alliance Airlines', which I have explained in the past how their wet leases work. One thing I have to say about today's flight is that QantasLink does not let you go hungry in business. As I left the aircraft, I was so full I felt like I was about to explode like Mr. Creosote.
Oh, sir, it's only a tiny little thin one. Oh, off, I'm full.
Another perk of Qantas's business class is the free-flowing alcohol served on board. I was offered by the crew 3 times if I'd like a refill of my glass, to only which one of those I accepted. So, all in all, QantasLink's business class is one very similar in quality to Qantas's 737s, and I was left today feeling satisfied and eager to fly with them again. However, personally, I would much prefer morning business class flights, as I like breakfast over lunch or dinner. But then again, that's just a personal preference. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to check out the other videos I have on my YouTube channel. And also, I now have a Discord server. Feel free to join, link at the top of the description. And don't forget to ring that notification bell if you enjoy my content, as I post my videos every Friday at 8 PM Sydney time, and I hope to see you again in the next one. See you later!